So Mark, do you want to do another Venn diagram?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Well, we have another example. Some bats are pets. No pets are rocks. Although there was a product called the Pet Rock.
Never bought one, but
Okay.
I had friends who did.
All right. I don't think they exist anymore. So no bats are rocks. And what standpoint are you going to assume when you symbolize this?
Well, since I assume you're a normal person, I know I'm a normal person, I'm going to figure you know that bats exist, you know that pets exist, so we're going to take the traditional interpretation.
And use X
standpoint.
We'll assume that that there are bats and pets.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you want to symbolize this? And
let's go ahead and do that.
Diagram.
Sure,
I mean.
sure. Okay. Again, I like starting off by abbreviating. I like to see the structure of the argument. So we have some BRP. Then we have no P or R. And no BRR. Let's have the conclusion by convention here at the bottom when I do this abbreviation. I like doing this because I like to see the students understand and can visualize the structure of the argument. We'll now label the argument. The first thing we do is draw our circles, then we'll label it. The lower left one will be lower left, lower right, kind of like a big triangle. Up at the top, at the point, you'd have one more letter, P's left up, so this upper circle will be P. Now we look at the premises. We have a particular premise and a universal premise. When you have one of each, what you want to do is the universal premise first. If you don't do it, if you do this guy first, what you end up doing is drawing an X for this, and you end up using shading to cut out part of the X. This is a grisly, horrible thing. It's like the legs are cut off an X. You really want to do this. Just try it on your own wrong, and you'll see exactly what happens. I'm going to do it right, though. The universal premise gets done first. No pets or rocks. No P or R. I'm looking at the P and the R circles. And I know we're talking about P's. That's a subject term. None of them are in the R circle, so none of them will be in here. And you shade where things are not. So I'll go ahead and shade that. Second premise is going to be some B or P. It's the second premise I'm going to diagram. I'm focusing on the B and the P circle. Some premises do not give enough information to absolutely guarantee the conclusion. By definition, that makes it an invalid argument. Want to jump in here, Paul?
Okay. Oh, that's very nice. And I think this is an example of an interesting phenomenon. To many people, this categorical syllogism would look valid at first. It pictures the logical relationships between the parts and shows us visually that it's not valid.